Hi, I'm James and I've been making logic puzzles for over a decade. Today I'm going to give you my personal top 5 list of Nonogram NONOs. If you're making a nonogram game and you fall foul of any of these points, I will probably not be playing your game. Of course I'm not going to call out any specific titles, I'm just going to talk about my top 5 nonogram design fails generally. The grid isn't always visible. Being able to count cells is super important. For this reason, the puzzle grid must always be visible, even when you filled in cells. If your filled in cells draw over the grid lines, or the contrast between the filled in cell and the grid lines is too low, it becomes impossible to quickly visibly count cells. Compare these examples and see which one is the most readable. Puzzles are not a multiple of 5 wide and high. Nonograms must always be a multiple of 5 wide and high. Look at this example. I can immediately tell that this point on the grid is the 9th from the top or the 7th from the bottom. Because players get used to the 5x5 divisions, even longer rows and columns can very easily be calculated, because the 5 time table is very easy and blocks of 5 can be counted at a glance. Now look at this example, or this one. You actually have to stop your brain from assuming the 5x5 divisions and manually count cells. I personally think puzzle creators who deviate from the 5x5 grids fundamentally misunderstand nonograms, and I will probably not be playing them. Solution spoiled before clearing the puzzle. One thing that makes nonograms so compelling is the slow uncovering of the final image that the solved nonogram makes. However, some games, websites and magazines actually show you what the puzzle solution will be before you even play it. This removes a huge part of the enjoyment of clearing a nonogram. So much so in fact, that I am personally entirely demotivated. I can handle a general theme, but even the textual solution, let alone the whole image, is just too much of a spoiler. Random puzzles. As per the previous point, uncovering an image is a huge part of the enjoyment, but some games offer totally randomized puzzles. This may be fun for people just interested in the process, but if the final solution is just a bunch of random shapes, I'm personally not that interested. It is a good way to have unlimited puzzles in your game, but none of those puzzles will be very fun to clear. Guessing. Nonograms must be solvable using logic alone. If you have to guess at any time to reach a solution, it is a flawed nonogram. Now, without the proper tools, it can be difficult to create such puzzles. I know, I've made a few mistakes myself in the past, but it's important to make sure your puzzles don't require guesswork. There are a couple of situations where traditional hint calculations fall short that I still think are logical moves, like this example, but these are far and few between. These are just 5 of my nonogram nonos. If you have any for yourself, do let me know in the comments.